Let's jump into the next question here. This person asks, how far does a 1K refill deck get you? How far in the process, or what level of comprehension can it bring you up to? They're curious about, I assume they mean learners, not leaners, what level sort of you can get to just by using a 1K deck, especially if it's based on like slice of life anime or whatever. And so, yeah, they put a lot more words in the question, but that's the question in itself.
The first thing is depends on language, which language you're studying. A 1K deck in Spanish, Italian, French can get you really far. Like up to the point where, as long as you're doing immersion, you can get to the point where you basically understand TV shows as long as you have a pop-up dictionary available.
So that middle part again, though, as long as you're doing immersion.
As long as you're doing immersion and you're seeing these things in action, you're seeing them in the real world, you're seeing them in real contexts. If you just do the 1K deck by itself, not going to get you super far. But with immersion, you can basically get to the point where you can understand native media with the help of a pop-up dictionary. A language like Japanese is you're not going to get to that point. We generally have been using the 3,500 word threshold as that point where you can understand native media with the help of a pop-up dictionary. And for a language like Japanese, you have to learn all 3,500 of those words. So that 1K deck does not get you super far. We've heard that some people at the 1K mark are totally fine to go into sentence mining. Others are completely not fine to do it. They do not like the process and they don't become comfortable with it until 2000. So people have asked for a 2K deck for Japanese, and that's actually one language where I'd consider doing it. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we've been recommending JPDB's SRS to fill the gap to get to that point of being able to sentence mine. The other option is to just choose much easier content to sentence mine from. So obviously depends on the language, but in summary, Japanese, not super far. Languages that are close to English, if you're coming from English, you can get very far with it.
As long as you're immersing, right?
As long as you're immersing.
Because if you did a 1K deck with 0 immersion times 0 anything else of the language, probably wouldn't do a whole lot. You'd know a lot of words, but that's it.
Yeah. Also, to clarify, the reason the 1K decks for Romance languages are powerful is because we've removed all the cognates.
Yes.
So if you did like a 1K deck off of AnkiWeb and it included cognates, still it's basically the equivalent of that 1K Japanese deck.
Yeah.
Because half those words you would have known anyway if you were just doing your immersion. So the word coverage is equivalent to if you were learning like 1K from a very foreign language.